What is up, guys? Welcome to the Underdog Talk, the most underrated podcast on earth. And we have the pleasure of speaking with Jake Plummer. Wait. Jake the Snake Plummer. I had to throw that in there, baby. Former NFL quarterback and current advocate for holistic health and wellness. This gentleman had a successful, wonderful career in the NFL playing for the AZ Cardinals, the D Broncos, a Pro Bowl quarterback, and a man who since turned his focus to promoting a healthy and balanced lifestyle. Now, is it true you're also a certified yoga instructor as well?
Yeah, I got my 200-hour teacher training, and it's not to really go teach, more or less just to dive into the yoga as everything, not just a workout, but more mind, body, spirit alignment. And it's something that's really helped me move through post-career pains and aches and be a lot more fluid, man.
And let's just say it one more time. Welcome, Jake the Snake Plummer. What is up, man? How are you and the family doing today?
We're good, Teddy. It's been a good day, and it's raining here in Colorado, which we love to see the moisture. And it's been a good day. Just been getting stuff done and hauling kids around and taking a breather once in a while, take a couple deep breaths, and just be grateful for everything we got, man. So I'm excited to join your show and let it rip, man. Thank you for that nice intro.
Hey, let's let it rip, Mr. Yoga Instructor. Honestly, I hate to say this, don't get mad. That might be the coolest thing besides Pro Bowl quarterback, yoga instructor. That is awesome. Now, when did you find your passion for the holistic wellness? Was this something you found during your career, or was this something that you kind of found after your career?
It really was taught to me by my mother and my grandmother, who were very, my grandmother was a vegetarian. Back, in the 70s and 80s, when it was rare to come across vegetarians. So she was onto that along with my mom. Now we ate some meat because she knew, there was times that we needed it, but it wasn't, a steady helping of meat 3 times a day. It was more, a lot of veggies, a lot of good food, a lot of home cooked meals, a lot of garlic, a lot of other forms of taking care of some ailments. If I was getting a cold, I'd take garlic and honey and some echinacea and maybe some colloidal silver. So my mom was on it and taught me to be really aware of what I put in my body and make sure, it could help you, but there also could be side effects that you may not want to navigate. So I have to give props to my mom. We'd get a bruise or sprain an ankle, and she'd make a comfrey poultice to put on it to help with the heat and the swelling and things that the Native Americans were doing for years. My mom's been on that for a long time, along with my Aunt Sue. And we kind of grew up as a family, being aware of what you put in your body. And so obviously I went through times where I wasn't, as you're playing a game and you're hurting, they give you anti-inflammatories, and it's really the only thing that can get you back on the field or give you that fluidity to go back and play. And sometimes, you take some pain meds if you got beat up really bad. But it never was something I leaned on and relied on. In fact, it was something that kind of drove me out of the game. That's why I was retiring, is because I just was so, I relied so much on those anti-inflammatories, and I felt what they were doing to my body. So I went down that path, and then post-career, have my own journey, retiring and working through all that and getting some surgeries and going through the transition to real life, the assimilation into, not having game day on Sunday and then your schedule all laid out for you. And then it found my way into, working with Charlotte's Web and advocating for a misunderstood plant in hemp and letting people know the healing benefits of hemp and what it had done for me, what it was doing for other players, but more importantly, what it was doing for these young kids, these young babies and young children with severe seizure disorders. And mothers were fighting for that. No one was listening. And when us players got involved, we helped bring awareness to their plight and their fight and their journey to do well and to give their kids something that was helping them and was still classified Schedule I by our government. So that was a real fun adventure. I benefited greatly from taking Charlotte's Web hemp oil and using cannabis respectfully to help with sleep, with relaxation, with aches and pains, as an anti-inflammatory and all that good stuff. And through that met a buddy, and now he introduced me to mushrooms, and the functional mushrooms along with psychedelic mushrooms, which I already knew about, but definitely just on my journey to learn and to help spread the good word, and let people know there is a way to feel better, and get over some of the aches and pains we're also commonly dealing with.
Damn right. And we had Eugene Monroe, former tackle from the Baltimore Ravens and Jaguars, first round pick. And he is just a huge advocate as well. And it's always interesting to see how much it impacts the players in a positive way. I mean, as a person who's never played the game of football, I've never had those aches and pains and shit, all the injuries that you guys sustain. So just the overall well-being from these plants and mushrooms are just so beneficial. Now, how did you start Umbo mushrooms? And am I even saying that right? Because I just love that name.
Umbo, like
Umbo.
yeah, Umbo mushrooms.
I love it. How did you start that, Jake?
Well, like I mentioned, Dale Jolly, I met him at Charlotte's Web. He was working for them. And now Dale's story is interesting. He was against cannabis. He believed it was the devil's weed and all this and that. But then he met Heather Jackson and met the Realm of Caring, these mothers that started a nonprofit to help people that wanted to find relief and were being told they couldn't because of an antiquated law. And so Dale, being buddies of mine, and we kept in touch. And right before the pandemic, he brought me some tinctures from a company in Australia of mushrooms, shiitake, lion's mane, reishi, cordyceps, and turkey tail. And so I started taking those and ordering them, and I started drinking Four Sigmatic coffee. That's a local company here in Boulder that had lion's mane in it. And, I just felt things start happening and feeling better. And now through a few years of being into taking those functional mushrooms and really addressing the pain in my body, parts that were not going away, that were just lingering, realizing that some of it was nothing a doctor could do, was the work I had to do to, work through maybe some emotional pain or some pain patterns that I had been so habitual with that I really actually wasn't even in pain. It was just like a pattern in my brain of when I stand up, it's going to hurt. And so it's been a fun dive into just, realizing there are better ways to go about it. Sometimes you need to go get surgery, or you need a doctor, or you need the white coats to help you, which I'm not discounting that by any means, but a lot of the ailments that I see old former teammates dealing with, I dealt with them also, but I've seemed to through the use of nature and through plants and through other means of being very cognizant of what I put in my body, how I speak, how I think, what I watch on TV. And you mentioned yoga. Yoga has been a big part of, the pandemic. I started doing more yoga. My mom had us doing yoga in grade school, man, up in Stanley, Idaho. So this is not foreign to me. I'm not like, oh, look, Jake's a yogi now. Like, this has been in my life for a long time. I've always enjoyed yoga. I just realized now, like, the benefits it brings not only to my body and how it feels, and to get that kind of a workout, but to also learn how to breathe through uncomfortable stress. Also learn how to let whatever's coming through me, channeling through me, whether it's answers to questions I've had, or revelations while I'm laying in Savasana or whatever it may be. It's definitely become something that's helped also. So yeah, getting into the Umbo was started just because we wanted to have a cause first and foremost, a cause to help people. And now the brand comes around, and obviously, we're going to capitalize on something that's been around since the beginning of time. In fact, we share a common ancestor and a lot of similarities with mushrooms. So I'm not surprised by how bioavailable they are and how well they work with our bodies to help us find balance and find some different ways to approach these diagnoses that are so prevalent in our society. And then you can't help but be aware, once that happens, you go, man, this beer I'm drinking, it really doesn't feel good the next day. Like, I like feeling better. And so you make little changes here and there. And I'm not saying I'm high and mighty and don't eat pizza or a donut or drink some beer once in a while. It's just not something I do all the time, and really very rarely now, because I just feel much better, all around, mentally, physically, and spiritually, And Umbo is there for those people that are wanting to excel in life, optimize their time here. And we wanted to kind of be one of the companies, kind of like Charlotte's Web, that was doing it right, ethically, organically, putting out the product we say we're putting out, and making sure that if you're going to buy our mushrooms, you're getting mushrooms. Our Umbo bars have 2.5 grams of mushrooms in each bar. So, there's other companies that are selling stuff, and I'm glad they are, because people are, hey, I'm taking this supplement, but it's a market that you got to make sure you're getting good mushrooms. They're bioaccumulators, just like hemp. So they've got to be grown correctly in the right medium and the right substrate, so that you're not growing in something that may be, bringing out toxins that now you're ingesting. So this isn't just, hey, jump in and start taking mushrooms. It's like, do the research, get curious, think a little bit, go, yeah, I wouldn't mind feeling better. And I can tell you they've done amazing things for my inflammation in my joints that were, they were aching a lot. But with that, like I said, has come just some dietary things where I just am really cognizant of how much I'm using or eating, or how I'm thinking about the food I'm ingesting. So Umbo has been a blast. We're growing. We're just having fun doing this and seeing what else comes along. Like the mushroom farm was something that came along through Dell, my partner, and Umbo, and obviously Rashad Evans is our partner, Hall of
Yeah, I
Fame
saw.
UFC champion, middleweight champion, and a great guy. A dude on his path too, that wants to share this with people that are interested in optimizing their time. And it's been a great journey so far, and I love sharing my message and seeing who shows up, man, who's listening.
Now, can we buy as a consumer? Is this something that we have to be in Colorado to buy, or can we buy this nationwide, Jake?
Yeah, it's nationwide. So there's confusion around mushrooms. Everybody hears me as a mushroom company, mushroom farmer, all this and that, and they giggle and think, "Ooh, is this psilocybin psychedelic mushrooms? Can I eat your bar and go to work?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course. These are sold at REI. They're sold at some local grocery stores. It's direct to consumer online. You go to getumbo.com and you can order right there on our website. We also have some capsules for rise for energy during the day, sustainable, non-sedative energy that's all natural, using cordyceps mushrooms, rhodiola, and bio NMN. And anybody out in the supplement world that's following what's happening with bio NMN, I won't try to say what that stands for. It's like neomononucleotide something. I'm not a scientist, but I know that it's helping with aging and the aging
Aging. Yep.
process, and working with people's joints seem to be excuse me, a little more fluid. And so we're providing that, and then a myco rest, which has lion's mane and reishi and sun-theanine, which help you just ease into a nice restful sleep. And you can recover when you sleep. And then people don't sleep well, it's hard to function right and have clear thoughts. And then you start worrying about, wait, I can't remember stuff. Oh no, where's this going? And it can lead you down a hole that is not positive. It's not good. It's not forward thinking. It's like, oh no, what's next? Am I going to have dementia? Am I going to be, forgetful and lose my mind? Like, people, there's a way out of this. And I'm not saying it's the only way, but it sure has helped me and many others. So we're having fun at Umbo. We're doing big things to help make the world better, man.
Now, I mean, I personally will be buying the energy capsules. I just quit caffeine, and let me tell you, Underdog Talk, it is not easy, and I still need my natural energy. So, and also, first person to get some of those bars, send me a screenshot, and we'll match your order on that. I mean, I think the power of mushrooms is fantastic, and I mean, anything that an NFL player endorses, I personally am just sold. And Jake, I want to look at your NFL career, man, because you had a stellar career, as I mentioned, with the Cardinals and the Denver Broncos. Now, which moment to you, what was that one moment where you realized that you made it from obviously Arizona and you realized, hey, I'm an NFL freaking quarterback? When was that one moment?
It's hard to say when, but I mean, being a rookie as a third stringer,
Yeah.
and one being on the team, being able to be in a state that I was comfortable with, that made the transition a lot easier into the next level. Um, the time that it happened really for me was in Philadelphia when I got the ball on the 2-yard line in Philly, an old veteran stadium. And the coaches were like, "It's your team, go for it." And I got in the huddle and I looked around and Larry Sinners was doing this with his eyeball. And I was like, "You okay, man? You got something in your eye?" And he's like, "No, baby, eye of the tiger, eye of the tiger." Cause we're in Philly, right? So it's like, yeah. So I had some choice words for the guys. I said, "Let's take this mofo 98 yards and score." And they perked up because they felt my energy and my, drive and desire and competitive spirit. And we took it 98 yards and scored a touchdown. And so that kind of was like, hey, let's get behind this kind of energy. Let's get behind this thought process of anything's possible. And that's when I didn't know that hey, I'm here for a long time. I mean, you never know when you're going to be replaced. 98 was a great year for us. We went to the playoffs. I signed a big contract with the Cardinals and we won a playoff game, the first in 50 years. And, the implications of that win are damn near like a Super Bowl for that community and that team, because that's when the stadium passed. And now there's Super Bowls there every few years, so big year, big season. That's when I knew, like, all right, I can play in this league. I can do this and compete and not just be, seeking and trying to scratch for my job. Like, this is my job to lose. I'm going to be the starter until I don't want to be. And so that really was, a process. But every year, man, I went into it having to learn again and go, okay, I got to do this. And I worked my ass off. I made it to the league and I started and I got a contract and I worked even harder. I went even harder 5 days a week in the off season. During the season, I put in my work and motivated the guys. And, I was all in for 10 years. That's why 10 years I was good to go, man. I'd done it. I'd done it every second of every day. I wasn't doubting any of my effort and heart. So I could walk from that game and not have any regrets.
That you did, and that you also did, as you put your damn heart on the line. I mean, literally and figuratively. Now, obviously, this is the underdog talk, and it's all about the underdogs. Now, did you ever feel like an underdog in your life, Jake, coming from Arizona to the big leagues, or even being in the NFL? Did you ever feel like an underdog with kind of everything to prove?
Yeah, I mean, I was too small, too skinny, didn't have the arm strength, didn't have the durability coming out of college. But that was just Mel Kiper saying that. He actually forgot to check his facts. I started 44 straight games at ASU. So, my durable, I don't know. You could watch the film and if you have any sense about you, you're not going to say some crap like that just because I was only 195 pounds. Come look at me in person. Come shake my hand. Come watch me work out and lead these guys and understand what I bring to the table. So I was an underdog. Yeah. I mean, coming out of Idaho, Boise, Idaho. I mean, I think in that my year I came out, I might have been one of two or maybe the only one athlete that went D1 out of all the football players there. Now they're turning them out because it's changed a little bit. But I've kind of been that underdog, not all my life, but definitely coming out of high school, getting to ASU. And, even against Nebraska, we were underdogs, but we didn't believe that. We knew in ourselves we knew amongst our teammates and amongst ourselves that we were good and we were going to do it and no one was going to stop us. So that, and then getting into the NFL again, I was too small to be a first rounder. I was too skinny and not big enough and didn't have the arm strength. And it's like, okay, whatever, that's fine with me. I'm going to go do my thing and play my game. And I went and did it. And thankfully had a lot of great coaches. I mean, Coach Vogel, my high school coach, was amazing. Got me looked at by a lot of teams, sent videos, VCR tapes out to hundreds of colleges that asked. I mean, that guy was amazing. And he just passed last year. So grateful to have a guy like him in my life. At ASU, Bruce Snyder, Bobby Petrino, Hugh Jackson, John Pettis, Dan Henson. I mean, some big name coaches that had great careers helped me grow and gave me that confidence to be a leader and be myself. And then in the league again, Jeep Christ, Mark Tressman, Gary Kubiak, Shanahan. I mean, I had some great coaches that believed in me and gave me those opportunities to struggle, knowing like the upside that after the struggle with me was going to be pretty good. I might play bad for a quarter, but I'm not going to play bad the whole game. I'm going to fight and turn it around. So that was it was a lot of fun, but I have to say, my teammates believed in me, and a lot of people, they kept the faith in me because they knew I was putting in the work.
Damn right, and you did put in that work. Now, I am very interested. Do you think mushrooms are going to become more of an acceptable, not acceptable, but more of a used plant in the NFL, or where do you see the mushroom and the NFL going together? Do you see it being more used?
I mean, we really eliminated an entire food group from our diet, if you think about it, in Western society. And there's some people that have been mushroom fans and eaten mushrooms of all kinds and foraging for them for years. It's just now getting to be a little more mainstream, and people are understanding it a little more, a little less fearful. I think after hemp was shown to people like, hey, this isn't real. You're being taught something to live in fear, and meanwhile, this is a plant that, if you believe in God, whatever you believe in, he provided this, it provided this on earth for humans, for mankind. And so in nature, there's a balance. I think anything that can kill you or poison you, there's something that is the antidote for that, or the opposite of that can help heal you. So I believe if the NFL, I'm trying to just work my way in and giving the product to some guys I know and getting it to the organizations I can, and then let them see what it's all about. If they want their players to perform at their peak and to perform optimally, then yes, there will be a monumental shift into using these and providing these to their players for a multitude of reasons. And that's just going to happen when it happens. I mean, CBD now is used and cannabis is used throughout the league. Players were already doing it, risking persecution. But the drug testing and the drug policy and all that in the NFL was all mostly players of color. So I don't know what it was. I think it really was a way to, I don't know. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. It was not cool what they were doing to some of these kids' dreams just for using this plant as like a way to relax after the game and deal with the stress and even get to bed at night and sleep when they're being asked to perform at a high level. So mushrooms have the ability to provide recovery, antioxidant rich, adaptogenic, which helps balance you out when you're out of whack. They're great for your nervous system. The lion's mane is being shown to enhance neuronal growth and repair and neuronal projection. So when your neurons or your brain cells and little neurons are searching for connection, that when they get stopped, then they project out these little tendrils. Lion's mane is shown to enhance that in some studies being done all around the world. So will they come and be the leader in this? It would be cool to see them do it, but they probably won't until another league does or enough of the players start doing it and then taking it to the teams. But I believe it's a way to help them function in a much higher capacity, with what they've done for me cognitively, for the ability to react and deal with stress around me. Reishi mushrooms are amazing. They're the mushroom of immortality, and they've had a long history of being a link from the heavens to the earth, and they've done wonders for me. Lion's mane and turkey tail is great. Turkey tail is great for your gut. It helps balance your gut. So you can't think clearly if your gut's out of whack. And if your gut's balanced, then your whole body's going to work better. So will the NFL come around? Yes. When? I don't know, but I'm here for them to answer their questions when they finally realize, damn, I'm paying Kyler Murray $250 million, and this kid's drinking Pepsi Cola and eating crap. Maybe he's not, but let's give him the best fuel he can have to optimize what he can do, not only now, but for the long play. I mean, I'm into these also for longevity purposes and for the ability to let my body not have to work so hard when it's not in balance. When it gets into balance, your endocrine system, your nervous system, your circulatory system, your respiratory system, it all works better and symbiotically together to use less effort to function. So will they come around? I sure hope so, because those NFL guys deserve to be functioning at a high level. And right now they're not. They're, 90%. But let's get some mushrooms in their bodies, some functional mushrooms, because they're psychedelics. And those are being used and researched for severe depression, for addiction, for trauma, for PTSD, and they're having profound effects on numerous people. Now, that's not something to take lightly. That's not something to play around with. We don't recreationally have stores selling psilocybin. I mean, it's something to be sure you hold in reverence and treat as a sacred organism that can really help us in certain ways. But we don't know much about it, so we need to keep researching it and be forward thinking and be curious about what this fungi, the psilocybin, can do. But all of what we're doing at Umbo, the mushrooms I'm growing out at Michael Love Farm, they're all functional, legal, non-psychedelics that have been used for centuries back in Eastern medicine, and we're just coming around to it, man. So I sure hope that these guys come around to it, because it'll help them in the long run. They'll live a little better lives and maybe not follow that path of, oh, great, I played 12 years, I had 20 concussions, I'm fucked, I'm going to have CTE and arthritis. No, man, you don't have to. Like, we can all make our minds up, and like, we're strong. We were the best in the world. We were at the very, very, very top of the entire chain of powerful, strong, will-powered men that could go get it done. So if you can remember that and get back to it, I think we can have a long life with a lot of good health and a lot of fun.
And I was honestly going to ask, what advice would you give to someone looking to incorporate more holistic health practice into their daily routine? I think the answer is do your research, and it is okay to try it. It's a natural thing. I mean, like you said, that hit me kind of hard. Like, why would it be here if it wasn't to be used?
Mm-hmm.
That is a very good thought, and I couldn't agree more on that. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you see him, Jake the Snake. Now, Jake, before we get you out of here, man, the floor is yours. Anything you want to plug, what is the website name? I think you already said that. What is your social media? Anything, the floor is yours. Any new product coming out soon as well?
Yeah, I mean, we're working on something really exciting. It's I can't talk a whole lot about it, but we're going to have some samples coming up soon, and then hopefully launch in March with a new kind of replenishing thing that works with mushrooms. But right now, it's been a ton of fun with Michael Love Farm. You can check them out. That's where I grow the mushrooms and have some good people working with me. That's a really high powered, potent tincture, the extract we're making there. And I'm growing those mushrooms. I'm not there every day, but I go out and help inoculate the substrate bags, or harvest the big lion's mane and dehydrate them. And so I put my love and intention into those things being good for us, to help us. So that's been a ton of fun. Getumbo.com, again, GETUMBO. And Umbo is the very tip top fruit of a fruiting cap of a mushroom. So like, I got a little reishi in here. Here's the little reishi that hangs out in my car with me. It's a California red reishi. And the very tip of this, the very top part, is the umbo of a mushroom. So
that's what that means.
Yeah, Umbo is also the boss, the little raised boss or middle part of a shield that you would use in battle. And then we have an Umbo in our eardrum, at our eardrum, the very tip of it, that's called the Umbo. So anything that's the very tip top, and that's, like I said earlier, Umbo, we want to be the tip top. We want to set a standard of ethical, why are we doing this? It's not to have a yacht and a private jet and build my private chalet up in the mountains. Like, nah, I'm building, healing centers, and we're going to do good with this. We're going to donate to Unlimited Sciences. UnlimitedSciences.org is a nonprofit my partner Dale set up to responsibly research nature as medicine and make sure that we're not overlooking something right in front of us that can help the human race. So that's really another great cause that we're working towards. If anybody listening wants a 10% discount, we can do UDT, Underdog Talk, UDT 10. If your listeners want to go on to getumbo.com and check it out, buy some product, whether it's our bars, our capsules, or tinctures, or also michaellove.farm. If you want to go that route, there's some good stuff there. You can use UDT, Underdog Talk, UDT 10 for a discount. And I just challenge everybody out there to just be curious, it's okay to sometimes go on a walk or turn the TV off, or kind of feel what you're putting in your body and see what it does. And, I've learned, like you said earlier, you getting off of drinking caffeine in the morning, and what's wild about that is your body goes through detox. Like you get headaches and you're like kind of irritable. And but watch, man, watch your sleep will get better and you'll start dreaming in color, man. You'll have dreams like you wouldn't believe. At least I did. And then with the lion's mane, that even enhanced my dream state even more. So I look forward to going to bed. It's like, yay, I get to turn out the light and I am out and I sleep like a baby. And a lot of people my age, they don't. And sleep is really important. So I don't have much more to talk about other than, hey, love is the only thing out there that really matters. There's no opposite to it. Be kind to the people around you. And thank you for the opportunity to share, Teddy, and your listeners for being curious. Follow me at Snake Plummer on Instagram. There's a lot of info on there. And yeah, we're doing good things, man. Just follow my path, enjoying, what's coming next.
Damn right. And again, first person to get one of those products, send me that screenshot and we'll get you one of the other products as well. Or if you really like that product, we'll get you the same darn product. I'm sure they're all excellent. Jake, it has been such an honor and privilege. Guys, don't forget to check out Jake's Instagram, which will be in the bio. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this damn podcast. Hey, until next time, Underdog and the snake. Ow.